We're just out checking the Nucs this morning. 2 days since I made the splits. Man, I must have timed it just right. I mean, other than having virgin queens in the incubator. But so far, fingers crossed, so far we are 3 for 3 on queen cells emerging and the Nucs sticking. Actually, the first hive I opened was one that I split that had a queen, and her hive actually absconded. So I opened up and found just a queen in the cage with like 5 bees. I was just going to show you this little virgin queen. She was just here a second ago, if I can find her. Little dinky thing. One of them that I opened, the queen already looked mated. And I know it was a nuc, obviously, because I pulled out the queen cell. Queen cage, queen protector, whatever you want to call it. I just saw this queen and then I decided to put the box back together and then I decided to make the video. Trying to see where she went here. She's a little bitty. Not little bitty like in a bad way, just like, well, she was on this frame. Maybe she jumped to the next frame. I don't see her on there now. She might have jumped over on this next frame. Kind of hard to do this one-handed while trying to video with the other one. You guys know the story. Come on, little lady. Where are you? Drones, drones, drones. No, don't see her on there. No, don't see her on there. Daggone. She might be a slippery one. Well, she ain't really got anywhere else to be. Well, whatever. I saw her. Have to try to find you another one, I guess. She was in there, running around, looked like a virgin. Okay, let's try another one. So far, 3 for 3. Here's one of our new girls. Little lady. Still a virgin on that one. This is the 5th box. So we're 5 for 5 so far on emerged queens. Let me pull one of these queen cells out and I'll just show you what it looks like. Sorry if we're dark for a second here. I gotta get one out of my pocket. Here, you guys can look down inside the beehive and stuff like that. There you go. Real life footage right there. Wouldn't it be cool if you could just get a camera just like just like that, just all day. Okay. See how it's chewed out nice and round? That's an indicator that your queen emerged alive. If your cell is chewed out on the side, if you remember what I showed you guys the other day when I was making the splits, that one was blown out on the side, that's a sign that the queen died inside or she was killed. Either way, she didn't come out on her own. So when it's chewed out nice and round like this on the bottom, that tells you your queen came out on her own. She chews her way out, flips the little lid open. So, right now, 5 for 5. We're going to keep working through them and see what we got. Alright, Mr. Benish. This is your test I was trying to describe. Queen in a cage, mated queen, and a suspect queenless hive. I gave this hive a queen cell a couple days ago. Can't find any evidence of it now, and can't find any evidence of a queen. So it might have failed, they might have torn it down. So we're just going to watch and see how these bees respond to this queen. They start to crawl on the cage. They start to discover it. And what we're looking for is any sign of aggression towards this queen. We're not seeing any. These bees are crawling around on this cage. They're reaching through. They're trying to groom the queen. They're trying to communicate with her. They're not balling it. Now, be half inclined to go put her on a queen right hive to show you the difference, but I don't want to risk it. But anyway, this is a good response. This is them being happy to smell and see a queen. So I was actually going through this hive hoping that I would find a queen, and was going to rob a frame of brood to then use this queen to make a split with. I moved her into a split 2 days ago when I set up all the nucs, but I didn't move a frame of brood with them, so the bees absconded, left the queen behind. Interestingly enough, I did that to 2 hives that I moved the queen, and both of the hives where the caged queen absconded, all of the queen cell hives stayed, which is kind of backwards. I was really concerned that the queen cell, the mating nucs, would abscond since all they had was a queen cell. Every one of them stuck. So this is a really good sign. We're actually going to borrow some bees from this hive because it's got a good population, just no queen. So what we're going to do, I'm balancing the population on the nucs, because the nucs, when I set them up, a lot of the bees were foragers, and so they end up getting lost. So we take a frame full of brood and house bees like this. We just come over and we're just going to shake them out on top of the nuc, okay? And the lids are pulled just so slightly off that they can start to find their way in without causing a fight. Now, these bees are good queenless bees too, so that's good. They're not loyal to anything, so they won't want to fight really. Anyway, want to show you that on how to test. Still, they're all over the cage, but they're not balling it. They're not trying to hurt her. They're happy to be with her. That's a good test. This hive needs a queen, now they got one. Alright, best I can tell, we are 10 for 11 on the queens emerging in the nucs, which is actually really good. Way better than I expected. The only one that was an oddball was one where I pulled the queen out of the hive and took her to make a small split with, and then gave a queen cell to that hive. That one, the queen cell was totally gone. The queen cell protector and the cell cup were actually somehow separated. I guess when I pulled the frame out, I just pulled it out, but there was no evidence of the queen cell left for me to see if it was torn down or if it was chewed down. And the hive had queen cell cups with larvae that they had already started. So I'm a little confused by that one. I don't know, the virgin may have emerged. She might be out on a mating flight, and then whenever she's confirmed, she might tear down those other ones, or they'll raise those other ones up as emergency queens. Either way, they should be okay. They've got enough population that they'll be no worse off than all the nucs. But the other 10, like I said, I counted. I kept all the cages and cups with me. They were all out. I spotted 9 of them. One of them I couldn't find, but she was in a big parent colony. That 10 frame that I tore down to make, I made 4 or 5 nucs out of it, but it still had a really good population because it was in the original location, so called a forager. So I wasn't going to waste my time digging through trying to find her, but I found the queen cell. It was chewed out. She's out somewhere. So things are looking really good right now. Shook out a lot of bees to try to balance their population more. The nuc populations are all really small, which I expected. So I shook more house bees back onto them, try to get them to pick up, and I'll keep trying to do that every couple of days. I'll try to shake out bees from a different hive, just to try to help them keep balancing out like that until they start to replace their own population. But right now, looking good.